everybody, welcome back to my channel. This is Annette. I want to thank everyone who has subscribed to my channel so far. I really appreciate that. And if you haven't subscribed, I'd love to have you. So hit that subscribe button. Today, I'm going to make a card. I'm going to make a birthday card. And I'm going to show you a super fun technique. I love getting inky with these cards, and I've really been playing around with my backgrounds lately. So I'm going to use this piece of, I think acetate or plastic, but it is actually what comes with the stamp sets. It's the protective layer that you peel off. I'm just going to use it as a stamping tool. And I have my card panel ready, and this is a piece of white cardstock, 65-pound weight, measuring 3 3/4 inch by 5 inch, and I'm just going to lightly tape that in place so it doesn't move. Okay, and then I pulled some inks from Gina K, and when you play around with inks, you definitely want to make sure your inks play well together. And what I mean by that is I'm going to be applying these inks in a wet mode so they will blend together, and certain inks blend well together and some do not. So here, I'm just trying to reach my color wheel. So if you have a color wheel or a color chart, inks that are close together blend well together. If they're opposite, they will, when they blend together, they will make brown. You can use them, for instance, the red and the green are complementary colors. So if I were using red and green, I would want my, whichever color I put down first, I would want that to dry. I would either allow it to dry or I would use my heat tool to make it dry, and then I would lay down my green. But I'm gonna use them all at once, so I want them to be able to blend together. So yellow and blue make green, orange and well, this is kind of like a red orange. It's coral reef. That would make an orangish color. So we're good. I'm pretty sure we're good. So what I want to do, I'm going to make some room here. I'm going to put some ink on this plastic surface. Okay, I'm just going to drop some ink here and then some yellow. This is sweet corn. Okay. So we have coral reef and sweet corn, and blue denim is the third color. All right. And now what I want to do is I just want to add a little bit of water, just a tiny bit of water to get this moving. And what I like to do, why I like this technique, is you can actually see your color as you put it down on your cardstock. Now, I have done it in the past where I just take the card and smush it, and you really don't know what you get until you turn it over. But here, you can see what you're applying. And this might be a little bit heavy, so I think what I'm going to do is just blot a little bit and add a little bit more water. Okay, and then I'm just going to go down lightly. Okay, and I'm just going to put color where I want it. Okay, like that. And I think I might put a little bit of blue right here, and maybe a little bit of, I'm going to wipe this off because I want more yellow. I did not get enough yellow on this panel, but that's what's really nice about this, is you can just go back in with one color now, which is what I want to do. I'm going to go back in with the sweet corn, and I will just tap this in. Just here and there, maybe up there, maybe right here, here, and I want some yellow in this area, so we'll just go like that, and right there. And you can see my hands, everything's inky. You can see how that just adds a lot of color, so that makes a really nice background. All right, so I'm going to set that aside to dry, and I'm going to wipe this off. This piece was actually from a stamp set that I really don't use anymore, so I thought, well, I'll just dedicate this to ink smooshing. And there you go. All right, so we have our panel. And what I'm going to do next is I am going to bring in an embossing folder. And I got this two-piece set from Recollections and just purchased it at my local Mark's store. And I'm going to use these circles. This is a kind of a geometric set. I like them both. And what I'm going to do, you need to make some room here. I'm going to bring in my embossing and die cut machine, my Sizzix. Bring that in. And I'm going to zoom out a little bit so you can see a little bit better. And then what we're going to do is we're going to run this panel through. I want to ink the embossing folder up. So you will have a raised side, which is an embossed side, and a debossed side. So these circles are set in, these are raised up. The ones that are raised up, I want to ink. I want to put some ink on it. So I'm going to use Distress ink in Black Soot. And I'm just going to go over these circles. Okay. And it's just putting ink on the circles, not on the background. And that's exactly what I want. And then I'm going to lay my cardstock down and get that in position here a little bit better. And then we will just drop the door down. Okay. All right. I'm going to lay that on our platform and run it through. I'm going to run it through twice. I'm going to send it through and then I'm going to bring it, turn it around, run it through again. Okay. And I really love what you get. So what you get is this panel with these really cool circles going around. All right, so I'm going to let that dry. I'm going to give this a quick spray with water and wipe it down. Okay, that's good to go. And we get this out of the way. Okay, so there we have a really cool, quick background. And what I'm going to do next is I'm going to glue it down to my card mat, which is 65-pound weight cardstock, and it's 4 inches by 5 1/4. And I'm going to glue this down. So I'm going to just use some tacky glue, just from the, I actually bought this at the dollar store. And I'm using glue here instead of the tape runner, just because it has all these little ridges and I just want to make sure it adheres nicely. And then we will align this so there's a nice even black border all the way around. Okay, just like that. Looking good. And we're going to eventually put this onto a white card base. I use white card bases a lot. Sometimes I do a colored card base, and I want to show you if you use colored card bases, a lot of times it might be dark on one side or dark on the inside depending on how you fold it, which you can use, and I do, but when I do, I cut an insert piece just a little bit smaller and put it on the inside so the part that you stamp or write your sentiment or your greeting is on white, and it just makes it look nice and finished. But most times I just use white. So this is 110-pound cardstock for the base, and the bases are an 8.5 by 11 sheet of cardstock, and they're cut on the long or on the short side at 4 1/4. So it's 4 1/4. When it's opened, it's 4 1/4 by 11, and then you score it or fold it at the 5.5 inch mark, and that will give you a US A2 card. No extra postage required. Okay, so this card, you can glue it onto the base. I think I'm going to pop it up with some foam tape. I haven't done that in a while. And then we'll put the greeting on the card, and then we'll be done. So let's bring out the foam tape. All right. This is a huge roll. I'm trying to use up. It's going to take me forever. I need to use it more often. It's a very low loft foam tape, so it doesn't give it too much of a lift, but it's enough. And I just eyeball measure it once, and then I take it back to back and cut another piece. And for this size card panel or mat panel, I use 4 strips. So I apologize, my hands are just covered in black ink. My hands look dirty. Okay, let's go about there. All right. Okay, so it doesn't really matter which side goes where, but I usually put one on each end. All right. Get your ends. And if I wanted this a little loftier, I would just remove these paper backers and I would double stack them. And you could certainly do that, but I'm good. We're not going to do that. And it really doesn't matter which way, you know, find which way you want to put your card. And then what you want to do is remove the backers. And I'm just using a pick tool. This is actually from my Cricut machine, which I have a Cricut Explorer 3 that my son got me for Mother's Day this year, which is 2024, and I'm still learning how to use it. I did figure out how to make greetings and cut them out. So when you have a Cricut, if you're not familiar with Cricut, when you have a Cricut machine, it comes with Cricut Design Space, and you can design art or greetings or whatever, and then send it. I do the print and cut feature where I send it to my printer, and then I cut it out on my Cricut. And I'm just learning it, so it's really cool. I like what I'm learning so far. And I did my greeting for this card on my Cricut, so I'm going to pull that in here in a minute. So I got my foam, and I'm just going to really eyeball this, get it exactly where I want it, and then drop it. All right. And then here is the greeting I made on the Cricut, which is pretty cool. I just did happy birthday in a font that I like. And let me zoom in a little bit. And then I added a scalloped edge oval. And then I sent it to the printer, printed it, and then sent it through the Cricut. And I did a whole sheet of these greetings. Some of them say grateful, some say thankful, some say happy birthday. I thought I would just have a bunch of these at the ready. All right, so I'm going to remove the backers off this. I put a lot of foam dimensional squares here just so it doesn't sag. Whoops, there's one still on there. And I'm going to use my reverse tweezers and grab this. And I think I'll just put this in the middle. I always make sure my card is opening the right way. I've made upside down cards before. So I'm going to put that right about there. And that is my finished card project. Pretty cool background. It's just, I don't know, I just love the distress look and the ink. I really like that. And I'm going to have fun with this one. It almost looks like a basketball or a tennis ball, but I'm going to have fun with the different color combinations. So I hope you give this technique a try. It was very easy. So I want to thank you for joining me. Until next time, make it a great day. And as always, you can find this card and many other cards and sticker sheets on my website, ascarddesign.com. See you next week.